Hi, today I'm pleased to share with you the creation of digital Indigenous-related stories as tools for language and cultural learning using the Credible framework. With reference to the Credible framework, the digital Indigenous-related stories which have been created in this study are contextually relevant, engage stakeholders, draws on local knowledge, informed by diverse experiences, benefits communities, leads the field, and ethical. The objectives of creating the digital Indigenous-related stories are to provide culturally relevant materials for the Indigenous students and to inspire them to be successful. These efforts are in line with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, especially SDG 4 on promoting quality education and SDG 10 reduced inequalities. It is hoped that the culturally relevant Indigenous-related stories could inspire learning and improve literacy. Furthermore, it is recommended by the teacher who is teaching the Indigenous students. According to her, the children love stories. The creation of the digital Indigenous-related stories involved 54 university undergraduate students who are undergoing service learning, an approach whereby learning takes place through the service offered to a target community. In line with Credible framework, the 5 stages of IPARD framework, which involved investigation, planning and preparation, action, reflection, and demonstration, are employed. The undergraduate students began their investigation by engaging stakeholders, drawing on local knowledge, and being informed by diverse experiences through online literature searches and interviews with teachers and informants from different Indigenous or Orang Asli subgroups, as shown in the pictures on the right. The undergraduates also investigated the talents amongst them and discussed their roles and plans. In the next stage, planning and preparation, the undergraduate students prepared drafts of Orang Asli stories, posters, videos, and activities using Google Docs, Canva, Procreate, and Animaker. These materials were then sent to the course lecturer, school teachers, and Orang Asli informants for feedback and further revisions. This is an example of Orang Asli folklore, the love tale of Putri Seri Gumung.
Once upon a time, there was a magical kingdom located above the sky called the Land of Kayangan. Although the people of Kayangan spent their days among the clouds, they also had a special garden on earth called the Forbidden Garden. The king and the queen of Kayangan bore a sole princess and named her Putri Serigumung. As Putri Serigumung was of a royal family, no other children in the kingdom dared to play with her while growing up, and that made her really lonely.
This is an example of a story based on an inspiring Orang Asli figure. The story is Today I Will Be Brave. It is based on a school teacher of the Indigenous students.
It was a hot and bleak afternoon when Danish came home from school. It was his second week in secondary school, but he was still having trouble adjusting to the new environment. As he collapsed onto the sofa, Puan Zima entered the living room. She was aware of his negative emotions.
After the stories were reviewed, they were shared with Indigenous and non-Indigenous pupils. In this third stage of action, which aims to deliver an act that benefits communities,
The undergraduate students act as storytellers and facilitators in the online storytelling sessions. Language activities were also carried out using Kahoot, Padlet, and printed worksheets. In Stage 4, the undergraduates reflected on the process of creating and sharing the digital Indigenous-related stories. They appreciated the opportunity to have meaningful and goal-driven communication with the Indigenous community, as well as learning more about inclusivity and the marginalised community. Feedback from teachers showed that the digital Indigenous-related stories and interactive activities such as Kahoot quizzes and Padlet activities were well received. However, there are still rooms for improvement. The primary school pupils' views of the stories were also generally positive. The mean ranged from 3.58 to 4.04. Feedback from pupils showed that they enjoyed the stories and activities as they were interesting and fun. They also enjoyed the animation and they liked watching them. The lessons they have learned from the digital stories include moral values, oral asli culture, and vocabulary. In the final stage, the undergraduate students showcased their work to a wider public through book publications and a range of online platforms, including blogs, social media, and presentations at both faculty and international levels. Overall, as the coordinator of this project, I'm very proud of what the Bachelor of English Language and Linguistics students have achieved in leading the field through ethically grounded, community-informed research. You may scan the QR codes here to watch the digital Indigenous-related stories and find the details of the sharing sessions. In conclusion, the digital Indigenous-related stories created based on credible framework can be a powerful tool for promoting language and cultural learning. For details, please read this chapter in book. Lastly, thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments, please feel free to email me.